Guys, I want us to take a look at this video. This American, TV presenter asked JACINTA Ngubeze a very strong question that throws her off her balance. I want you guys to take a look at this video from the beginning to the end. Please do not skip. Watch and hear what they have to say to her. They are asking her questions that other Africans, presenters or journalists have not asked her, and she was shocked. These are the kind of questions that they need to be asking her. Please, as you're watching this video, please kindly share, like, and subscribe because a lot is coming. Please stay tuned. Watch the guys.
Okay, what about your marches? Are they having an impact?
Yes, they are having an impact in the sense that we reminded the government of the laws of the country where they've specified that people are not allowed to hire illegal immigrants, but a lot of employers have been getting away with it. So currently we're seeing a lot of them facing the will of the people, and they have no choice but to abide by the laws of the country, because they can't be labeling us as lawless people, for example, for wanting the laws to be enforced. So we're seeing a lot of South Africans getting employed. Obviously it's not enough, but also we're not happy. We're seeing a decline in the crime rate. We saw a number of them getting evacuated out of the country, but we're still not happy because the ones that are giving us a proper problem are still refusing to leave, which is the likes of the Nigerians, the Somalians, Ethiopians, the Pakistanis, the Bangladeshis. Those are the ones that have given us a serious problem, and they have this sense of entitlement that somehow they should stay in the country by hook or by crook. So we're just hoping that we'll have a government that takes this seriously and enforces much stricter ways of getting them to leave the country.
There's criticism that the marches have been violent and have been unfairly targeting immigrants. What's your response to that?
Look, if they've been violent, I'm sure by now I would have been arrested. They know very well the marches have not been violent. In fact, the marches have relatively been peaceful given the number of people that the people coming to the marches. I mean, it's unprecedented numbers, marches bigger than any we've seen in the country at all, with no buses being sent out to get people out. People are coming out generically because they feel like they're tired and they want to express themselves.
What about the media's coverage? Do you think this issue is being fairly reported in the media?
I think we've concluded that the media has already chosen a side, and we're happy with that. So we're going to be telling our own stories. That's what we've said, because I remember there was even an incident from one international journalist who came all the way from the USA, and when they arrived here, they came to the march, and with South Africans, carrying sticks is actually part of a culture, which is the Zulu culture. It has nothing to do with beating people up or violence, because even at a wedding, that's what we carry. The men carry sticks. Mm-hmm. And the story turned around from it just being a protest to now it being people using sticks to hunt down foreign nationals, which is absolutely not true. And even when you tried to correct them, they carried on with that idea or that propaganda that they was trying to spread. So we've had a lot of negative coverage, and that's why the whole issue of the 30th of June was kind of blown out of proportion and painted to be something it's not. But here we are, and still carrying on with the fight against this invasion that our country is facing.
What about you? How did you go from being a radio presenter to the founder of March and March?
It wasn't easy, to be honest with you. I think it was exactly my radio, career that led me to this, because hearing people's stories and many of them sharing at how they've been let down by the law when it comes to the issue of someone who's in the country legally and they can't find them, or they are here but the police are, not willing to move or support their call for that person to be charged or arrested or investigated at least. So there was a lot of issues that were ending up hurting me when it came to the issue of how South Africans felt like second-class citizens in their own country. And on top of that, there was a television show which we were watching every single Sunday, a series of shows where from one show they were just drug dealers. It's called Sizokuthola. It's always on our shows on our screens every Sunday. And then from there it was another show, Vuga, where people are just going around exposing all these crimes that people are committing in the country, and they're not South Africans. And week after week it would be people coming back from outside of South Africa, but sometimes you'd see the same offenders coming back because of our criminal justice system. So it was just a transition that had to happen, I feel, because as a South African and as someone who's concerned about the future of this country, I could see that there's no future left for a South African anymore.
How do you feel about the future now, and will the marches continue?
I feel a little bit more hopeful knowing that South Africans now are standing up for themselves, and they're ready to defend their country at all costs. I think it's a bit safer for me to feel a bit of comfort. We're not there yet, but at least it's getting there. And then, the marches are definitely going to be continuing because our government has, as I said, made promises, but to date, we haven't seen those promises yield any results, or we don't see a potential of them yielding results at that, because the things that they have suggested are possible, but there is no means for them to happen. Because we want a border gate, for example. We don't have a mere border gate in the country. Wow. And on top of that, there's other neighboring countries who are having economic collapses from all the way from 2008. So all their citizens are just comfortable to just walk in, cross the river and come here and start life, and it can't be. We can't maintain that. Our hospitals are overcrowded, our schools are overcrowded, buildings are overcrowded. So we demand border walls, and we demand that the government of this country also talks to the other governments of their neighboring countries to also make sure that they give their people the resources that they deserve. Currently in Zimbabwe, there's a gentleman who's been arrested all because he planned a protest to speak about the issues that they face as Zimbabweans, and nobody's making any noise about it. Our government is quiet about it. You can't be having citizens arrested just because they want to make their voices heard, because the natural effects of that is that those citizens end up collapsing their own countries to come to ours, and it can't be a workable and sustainable model.
Jacinta Zuma, founder of the March and March movement, thank you so much for making the time to speak with us on Power Hour. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
There's no foreign person who'll come to your country and commit crime unless they are working for a South African or they are sent by a South African. So before you jump and start solving things you don't know, please conduct your research. And please allow people who understand the law to act legally. Do not take law into your own hands. You have no right to stop people in the street. You have no right to assault people. But to see how coordinated this hatred is, the police are watching people being harmed, physically harmed, being insulted, and the police are just standing there chatting to each other. They're not doing anything. And then we have the audacity to stand up on national television and say we are not xenophobic. We need to do better as human beings. We need to stand up and see what is happening around us. We need to understand people who are sent by white supremacy, who are paid. Today, black people are still suffering in South Africa because of other black people who are paid to prolong their suffering. And today, that's what you are supporting. It is very disappointing that you cannot use your own brain to do the correct things.
When you listen to Jacinta speaks, I love her courage. I wouldn't lie about that. I love her courage. But what I don't like about her is that she doesn't think far. She's just thinking in between. I don't know what her brain is telling her at the moment. I don't know what she's thinking at the moment. But all the same, this American journalist really throws her off her balance. She asked her questions that other people have not asked her. That is the match on match having results? Are they getting results of what they want? There is nothing. And that is the reason why Ngizwe left. Ngizwe said they cannot keep matching because they're not getting results. They cannot keep matching forever. So guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Please kindly share this video, like and subscribe.